Muay Thai Strategic is a video series all about the tactical application of Muay Thai for both combat sport and self-defense. In this series, we will focus on both the technical hows and the tactical whys of fighting. These are the foundations of Muay Thai that can be made combat ready through drilling, pressure testing, and eventually application in live training. What's up, everybody? This is Ajahn Buck Grant, and I'm here to show one of my favorite setups for the Superman punch on the lead side. So a lot of people do the rear side Superman, you throw the right kick, and then you fake, and then throw the right hand over top. The lead side is a little bit more of a savvy technique. So what I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna set it up by doing my switch step left kick, just to get them to respond off of it. So I switch step lead kick, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch, but when I go to switch, I throw the jab instead, and then I kick back here. So what I'm doing here is I lift this leg as if I'm gonna fake the kick, and then I'm gonna kick back with my lead leg, and then lean forward. That could be to the chest or to the face. And then from this position, I can step out and finish with a basic fundamental Muay Thai round kick. So we set it up with the switch step to get them responding off of it. I switch step or step kick. Then from here, I switch and then I kick that way. One more time, switch kick, boom. Switch kick. Then I go to switch, jab. And then I chop the kick, finish it up. One of my favorite setups. A lot of my pros use this a lot to get people confused, to get the lead step, the lead jab, and then chop with the kick right away. Want to see more about this? Go to buckgrant.com. And of course, always check us out on Funko Martial Arts. Thank you very much.
Why throw the Superman punch? Or when?
So it comes down to the body's natural response to a feint, some type of flinching movements. In a split second, when a person's responding to that, especially when you flinch, the body's paralyzed. And what that allows me to do is like bridge a reactionary gap. So if I fake something and they're paralyzed for that minute, that moment, even if they see it coming, they're not gonna be able to stop it, right? And that allows me to gain access to my strikes without any type of resistance for that moment in time. And keep in mind, when you're doing fighting, you're trying to win moments in time. And that moment in time, I don't have an opponent because they're paralyzed, and that allows me to get a free shot.
When I think of Superman punch, it's hard not to have GSP in my brain. Tell us about your interpretation of why he's been so successful in landing it.
Well, the reason GSP is such a phenomenal fighter is, number one, he's a threat in all ranges. He can kickbox, he can wrestle, and he can grapple. And when he's giving out these like false reads by pumping the jab or lifting the leg, I always say this is like playing the cup game. We've all played the cup game before, right? You put 3 cups down on the floor, put a ball or something under it, you shuffle the deck, and then you have to guess which one is under. Well, good fighters play the cup game with like 5 or 6 cups on the plate, right? So every time that I fake or feint, you've got to guess out of those 6 cups, which one is it under. And based on your response, I have a response. You have to guess which one. I have 5 or 6 in my arsenal, and from that point, I'm actually controlling the fight. I'm funneling where the experience is gonna go. All right, guys, so for some of you who may not be familiar with the mechanics or need a refresher on the mechanics on how to throw a Superman punch, I have a pretty easy progression to help you with it. So the basic thing you want to be able to do is, number one, stand on one leg. So the fake all comes from the fact that when I lift my leg, I'm getting a response out of my opponent. So if I lift my left leg, or my right leg, I'm getting a response. So the first thing you want to be able to do is just lift the leg up, bring the knee forward, and then balance, right? From this position, I'm going to do a counterbalance. And I always tell people, you think about your old Kung Fu movies, the ability to be able to fight two people at the same time. So if I have a person in front of me that I want to punch, and a person behind me that I want to kick, this is essentially the mechanics of the Superman punch. I lift, I punch back and punch at the same time, and then I come back here. All I'm doing from that position is adding on a hop. So when I lift, as I punch back, I hop forward. And the varying degrees of how high I jump is depending on the opponent, is also depending on the environment. Olden day Muay Thai, for example, they did the big Superman punch where they come from over here and they jump and punch down, because people would be either on top of an elephant or on top of some high ground, so they would have to get on top of it in order to get the strike. And it often came from not just throwing punches, but from throwing spears. So if you have a spear in your hand, the motion would be to take the spear, to jump, and throw it over top. And that's where the mechanics of the Superman punch came from. So this is a great way to set it up by first just getting used to the idea of being on one leg, lifting, punching back, and then I lift, a little bit of hop, and then depending on what kind of flair, what kind of style, you can add punching over top and coming up from a more superior angle from there.